This is the Salnotes Zero. It's an IEM that has been dominating the $20 bracket for about a year now, and for good reason. Not because I tuned it and I'm clearly biased, but we are one not to rest on our laurels. So now I am happy to announce the release of the new 7Hz Salnotes Zero 2. For those of you who are unaware of the context surrounding all of this, I do have an entire video explaining everything, but for those who just don't want to watch that, allow me to elaborate. This again is the Salnotes Zero. Salnotes is the sub-brand of 7Hz, which most of you might know is the ones who made the Timeless. 7Hz initially approached me to tune their Dioko IEM, which at the time was the cheapest planar IEM on the market. At the time. At the same time, they did ask me, hey, we do have a very cheap IEM and we need a little bit of help trying to get it up and running. And they asked me for some feedback. They at some point also asked me for a full-blown collaboration. But as we all know, and as I've said in my video, there was some conflicts. Namely the Truth Year Zero kind. And that was just one of the reasons why the Salnotes Zero wasn't considered a full collaboration. I didn't want people getting confused over which Zero is which, especially if both of them were collabs. And so the Salnotes Zero continued on as kind of a stealth collaboration, at least up to the point where I released this video where I again let the cat out of the bag and told everyone, hey, guess what? This was actually tuned by me. So now we get to the Zero 2, which at this point, since everyone knows that it's tuned by me, might as well just make it a full collaboration. And so it is. The full name of this product shall therefore be known as the 7Hz X Crinacle Salnotes Zero 2, which is a bit of a mouthful, which is why I know most of you just call it the Zero 2. Yes, we have made changes, but not to the point where I'll consider it a completely different product. One of the more obvious changes you may see is that we have changed the plastic on the housing. It is translucent now, of course, but on top of that, we have also changed the plastic to be harder as well as more durable. The 2-pin connection was also changed to be tighter as well as with better tolerances. So now you would see that the connection is a lot more robust as compared to the old version. On top of that, we also changed the cables. Now it is a lot less stiff and less kinky, and of course feels a lot more better on the skin. The internal cores of the cable has also been changed, so it's much less susceptible to internal breakages. And yet all of this is just the build quality changes, quality of life changes that you would appreciate as a consumer. But what about as an audiophile? No, it is not using the same driver as the original Salnotes Zero. Instead, we're using a more upgraded, better quality driver to make it sound a lot more strong, clear, resolute, if you will. But the differences that most of you would hear most obviously would be the tuning changes that I've made on the new Zero 2. For instance, the bass response. The bass of the original Salnotes Zero is a bit of a contentious issue, and I say contentious in that some people felt like it was alright, but many people complained that it was a little bit too little. And yes, I've heard your feedback, I've taken them into account. After all, the kind of people who would buy a $20 IEM are going to be the kind of people who would expect a lot more bass out of their purchase. And so for the Zero 2, I've decided to go for much more mainstream bassy sound, increasing the bass response by about 3 to 4 decibels over the original. This would increase the slam, the thump, the punch, the rumble, all those different descriptors, you know what I mean. So for those of you who have kept crying, more bass, more bass, more bass, here you go. More bass. On top of that, some people have complained about the original Salnotes Zero being a little bit spicy up top. So in tuning of the Zero 2, I've made extensive usage of the new Brewing Care Type 5128, which seem to be a lot more accurate at representing the higher frequencies. So yes, the Zero 2 now has a slightly attenuated 10K+, so it's a little less airy, but it definitely addresses the criticism that the Zero 1 had, which is again, a little bit too spicy. Overall, the Zero 2 compared to the Zero 1 is going to be a slightly down-tilted version, more bassy, less trebly, but at the same time, because of the improvements to the driver, it still sounds arguably cleaner. In conclusion, the Zero 2 is essentially just incremental upgrades, small little improvements, but yet coming up with a product that is arguably still superior to its predecessor. As of the publication of this video, the Zero 2 will now be available at Linso, who will be the exclusive global distributor of the Zero 2. The retail price will still hover around the 20-ish USD mark, but I'm not entirely sure of the retail. Here it is. Someone would just edit it in there. In the coming months, the Zero 2 should be available in almost every sales channel you can think of. Amazon, of course, AliExpress, Lazada, Shopee, Q10, I don't know, just wherever you can find it. More importantly, the Zero 2 is now available for demo as well as purchase at the Hangout. We're located at 29B Mosque Street, level 3 in Chinatown. Come down, have a coffee, test it out, no obligation to buy, and if you like it, why not support us, right? We've let many of our customers try out the initial prototypes of the Zero 2 with much positive reception. And just clarification for those who have tried it, the faceplate says Zero Pro, but now it's called the Zero 2. Zero Pro is Zero 2. So just clarifying that. And with that, I thank all of you for supporting yet another one of my collaborations, and I hope that the Zero 2 does live up to your stratospheric expectations. I shall see you all again next week. And don't die. Fuck off.